Pariston Hill is living in Kurapika's walls, and I am dead serious. Hello, and welcome back to Suck War Central. I'm CJ, and today I want to talk about Pariston's exact location within the Black Whale 1. That's because the answer to this question of where is the weird little rat man, could shake the very foundations of the Succession War in a way I practically guarantee you aren't expecting to hear. Now, you might be inclined to think that Pariston wouldn't give a crap about the Kakin Empire's death game. After all, he's pretty occupied with his own game with Jing, one in which he is getting thoroughly shellacked. But beyond that, Pariston's mission lies with working alongside Beyond Netero to explore the Dark Continent. For a while, it's been assumed that Pariston and Beyond will remain inactive and have nothing to do on the Black Whale until the ship reaches the new continent. However, with the recent revelation that Beyond is actively meddling in the Succession War, it's not unreasonable to suspect that his number 2, Jing, is also on board the ship and has orders to achieve Beyond's desired outcome. Another major reason to believe that Pariston is aboard the Black Whale itself is that Beyond has plenty of other agents thoroughly mixed up in the Succession War. For instance, Bill, Syard, and Curtin, 3 of the hunters assigned to guard Prince Wobble, were working for Beyond and were intended to be part of his expedition team. If Beyond was going to transport his agents on the same boat as everyone else and get them involved in the Succession War, why not his very finest? It just doesn't make sense. You could argue that he didn't want to put them at risk, but then, why would he put himself at risk by submitting to the Hunter Association if it were that simple? Beyond is embroiled in the Succession War, and all the people who follow him have to be as well. And these agents of his on the Black Whale bring me to my final point of evidence in support of the idea that Pariston has to be on this ship. Bill's words. Bill stated that there was a way off the Black Whale which required Pariston's help. Therefore, Pariston is pretty much certain to be on board. Now, you might argue it could be some sort of transport-based net ability. Pariston could thus be on some separate boat or even still on land. To this, I say Fugetsu. Fugetsu's magical worm is the greatest long-range transportation ability we have ever seen in the history of Hunter x Hunter, and the limit of its range appears to be about half the Black Whale from Tier 1. Given that Tier 3, where Fugetsu teleported while experimenting with the limits of her ability, is still above water, I highly doubt that Pariston has some kind of teleportation that would reach Tier 1 from a separate ship in the water. All this leads me to conclude that Pariston is on the Black Whale. Well, great, that barely narrows it down. A ship of 200,000 people, how hard could this be? In order to figure out where Pariston and co could be hiding, we have to look at practicality and utility. By practicality, I mean, where can they get away with hiding? And by utility, I mean, where would it be most useful for them to hide? Utility-wise, they should probably be positioned close to Tier 1. This is because I am almost certain that their role is to assist in Beyond Netero's breakout. Beyond is likely going to have serious trouble escaping by himself. After all, he's got this weird cuff on him, which is probably some kind of net ability that inhibits his aura. Otherwise, they wouldn't even bother cuffing the guy. He's being guarded by 3 Zodiacs, one of whom is a traitor. But do we really trust Sayu to do a 2v1, especially now that they know all each other's abilities? He's gonna need backup, and the Pariston squad is perfect to provide it. After all, its members are implied to be quite powerful, particularly Marion here, who Jing believes is stronger than Pariston. Still, the element of surprise will be critical, and so this group being as close to Beyond as possible would be ideal. So why can't they just, like the others, be positioned on Tier 1? Well, look, Mujer literally tried that and it didn't work. Besides, some of the group, like Jing, Pariston, and Golem, are known to the Hunter Association. If Pariston rocked up as one of Tyson's bodyguards, he would immediately be arrested. And honestly, if he appeared in any public place, it would only be a matter of time before the Hunter Association found him, and then he'd be in trouble. So, where could it be that's as close as possible to Beyond while not being arrested by the Hunter Association? It may surprise you, but the answer has already been revealed to us in the latest batch of chapters. While we never saw Jing or Pariston themselves, we have an extremely good idea of where they're hiding thanks to Morena's Hail Lee family. As we learned from Morena's negotiation game with Volkson, the Hail-Lee hideout is in a sort of Nen space that is integrated with the Black Whale itself through secret Nen-based entrances while being physically located inside the connecting gate between tiers 2 and 3. This shows that Morena was able to plan her entire scheme out while the Black Whale was still under construction and slip her secret hideout into it. So if she could do it, then why on earth couldn't somebody like Beyond, who seems to foresee everything and was actually bestest of buds with the guy who built the whole thing, also ensure an end space was included for his people? That's right, I'm hypothesizing that Pariston's currently sitting in basically the same place as Morena, except somewhere else. A Nen space that was built into the Black Whale from the very start. Furthermore, I'd like to assert that the aforementioned Nen space is somewhere on Tier 1 itself. Morena's location makes sense, because she wants to access the upper and lower tiers alike. But for someone who just wants access to the Succession War, since they might be interfering in it, and jail cells to bust out Beyond, the first tier makes the most sense. I'm also going to hypothesize that this hideout is somewhere we can actually deduce. Togashi keeps on showing us maps of the Black Whale. And yeah, maybe this is just another example of him getting really into the details of the stuff he comes up with, but it's also possible he's giving us a chance to learn where Pariston is hiding. If nothing else, it gives us plenty of information. Now, this map notably doesn't include the prison, but we can intuit where the prison is located. Before we start, I want to establish that given the size of these rooms, the guards on this map are just decoration and not to scale. In any case, the prison is likely to be kept away from all the princes, so I doubt these antechambers on the sides are the prison. They're likely the banquet hall and the VVIP area. So we've got two directions to go, this door at the back and this area up these stairs. Given the grandiosity of this wide area, I'm going to assume that these stairs lead to the king and queen's quarters. This is supported by the fact that there's, stairs. It symbolizes how the king is above the princes. That just leaves this door in the back as the most likely area to lead to the prison wing. And when I realized this, I had a freak out of monumental proportions, which my channel members are privy to, and promptly changed the course of where this video is going. This door is almost certainly the door to the prison wing. And it's a weird place to put a door, too. I mean, why wouldn't you put it in the middle of this hallway? The answer is simple. The people who designed the Black Whale wanted the door to the prison to be very close to room 1014. This leads me to my most shocking conclusion yet. Wobble is Beyond's child, and Pariston's pocket dimension is inside the walls of room 1014 itself. I told you, Pariston is living in the fucking walls. Let me explain. What would Pariston's mission aboard the Black Whale be? As we've discussed, his purpose is likely to interfere with Beyond's imprisonment and ensure Beyond's plans for the Succession War go smoothly. Beyond probably needs to keep his secret child safe, so if his top-tier elite squad also needs a place to hide, why not kill two birds with one stone and put a Nen space in the walls? If Wobble is in danger, the squad can kill the attackers and pull Wobble into said Nen space for safety. And when it's time to break Beyond out of jail, they have the shortest walk from room 1014 to the prison while running into as few people as possible. That is why, in the construction phase of the Black Whale, room 1014 was placed where it was. Now, you might ask, if this is true, why didn't the squad interfere when Vincent attacked? This was likely on Pariston's orders. Pariston has expressed interest in Kurapika, his replacement among the Zodiacs, and probably wanted to see what he could do. If Vincent ever got close to Wobble, no doubt Pariston or whoever would have been dispatched to protect the baby. This situation is extremely bad. Pariston now knows way too much about Kurapika. If I'm right, he's been watching the entire time. He knows how Kurapika thinks, strategizes, prioritizes. He knows how Steel Chain works. He has some information about Dowsing Chain. He knows that Kurapika is trying to retrieve the eyes of his people from Terror Sandwich, and worst of all, he knows that if Kurapika is forced to use Emperor Time for too long, he will pass out. Now, while Kurapika and Pariston may both want to protect Wobble, Kurapika is also on the side of the Hunter Association and an enemy of Beyond. If Pariston has truly been watching all this, then he has Kurapika in checkmate. Now, you might say, surely Jing will interfere, but why would he? Jing is also presumably on Beyond's side and wants to break him out. He's not going to lend Kurapika a helping hand anytime soon. The one way I could see Jing coming to Kurapika's rescue is because Kurapika is a friend of Gon, but I don't have high hopes for that one, even though it would be a hell of a narrative loop. Now here's the kicker to all this. Silent Majority's user is almost certainly one of the people on Beyond's team. It might even be Pariston himself. In my other videos, I've explained how Silent Majority's actions only benefited Wobble by killing all the traitorous guards. Notably, aside from Kurapika, who Pariston probably wants to test, Oito, Wobble, and Beyond's agents were never targeted. Additionally, Furikov believed Silent Majority's user had to be in the room, probably because such an incredibly powerful Nen ability would be difficult to use at long range, but none of the secret Nen users he identified were Silent Majority's user. So what is Togashi telling us here? Silent Majority's user is in the room, has been in the room since the very beginning, but isn't somebody Furikov was ever able to lay eyes upon. Furthermore, we have Bobby Mina using N. If there were somebody else hiding in a secret compartment in the room, he would have found them, unless that secret compartment was its own pocket dimension that could avoid N. And lastly, Togashi explores the idea of secret Nen spaces and pre-planned hideouts built into the Black Whale in his recent Morena chapters. That's right, folks. Ever since day one, he's been dropping more and more hints about this mystery, and it took until now for me to put this together. Pariston is controlling Silent Majority from a Nen space in the walls of room 1014 in order to protect Wobble, Beyond's secret child. Now, while on the basis of this theory alone, we can't say if Silent Majority belongs to Pariston or someone else on his team, I think it's Pariston's ability for reasons I'll get into in my very next video. Holy shit, you guys. I don't know how to end this one. I really didn't expect the video to go this direction. It just happened when I was doing my research. In any case, even if you think I'm crazy, I hope you enjoyed my insane ramblings, and I hope you have a wonderful day.